Okay, so we know what the problem is. We don't know how it happened quite yet, but now that we have the evidence that that's what's occurring, it might be the case that message code never got set back to 0 or turned off between the two tests. And that would be a statement where message code would be set to 0. Back up here, it would be something I would think would happen right here where we're setting extra price to 0 for the same reason, really, to get rid of stale data. And since it isn't there, and I think it ought to be, I'm going ahead and say message code is equal to 0 and try to fix it that way. Now, before I do anything else, I want to make sure that in the Word document, bring that up, we better update that accordingly to make sure that we're not getting these two solutions out of sync. But just like before, message code equal to 0 is already there. So again, it was a matter that the logic was correct, we just didn't carry it through to the physical code. So I'm going to take that down, go back to the physical code solution, and before I do a test run again, I'm coming down and getting rid of that. Now, because I feel fairly confident that this is a good fix, I'm going to go ahead and run this from the beginning to do all the tests. So I'll run the lab. The first test was for Pluto. And yeses, except for convertible. The other thing about doing these tests over again, because you might think since this worked we didn't need to do the first test again, is that you want to make sure that your fixes do not mess up things that were working before. That can happen and get you into further trouble. But in this case I get the right answers, so I'm okay. And then asteroid. And we get out the message that convertibles do not come with a sunroof. And then we should be able to run the pulsar test. No for convertible. And we get out 28,999.97 cents, which is right. So that worked, that fix worked. And then the last test was for asteroid. And those are all ends. And we get $19,000, which is good. All right, looks like this worked. I'm going to capture this screen with an hold down the Alt key and hit print screen key. And then I'm going to bring this down, go back to the Word document, and find where the captured screen is supposed to go, and paste it in. Okay, and then I'll go back here. I also need the VBA code, which is all this. From the warning message down to the last end sub. Don't leave anything out. Copy. Go back to the Word document. Find where the VBA code goes. Paste it in. And then I have the capture screen, the VBA code is here, the test plan, the pseudocode, and the output and input lists, and we're done. So we can submit this for the lab. One thing I should tell you about, in the output screen, I had gone ahead and inserted the money function so that it came out with dollars and the commas and the decimal point. If you don't use the money function, it's okay, and you would get just 21,799.96. You would not get the dollar sign and the comma, but money function is there for some people that like to use it. And where I had used that was back in the code here, wherever the total car price is going to come out, I put money and then put the variable in parentheses, and the money function puts in the dollar sign and the comma. So that concludes this example.